It's that moment again, the one you dream of every night. La seule chose qui te préoccupe, c'est la gloire. Le cheminement de la réussite, of pushing yourself further than ever before. But the true glory is in the shadows. Les sacrifices que tu fais, quand toutes les chances sont contre toi. When you can't push one more second, chase the glory. Visez haut.
Well, a good Friday evening. Welcome to the Saville Community Sport Centre, the south side of Edmonton. It is the U Sports Final 8 Women's Basketball Championship Consolation Semifinal. Our first of two matchups tonight. We'll have the Saint Mary's Huskies taking on the Fraser Valley Cascades. My name is Mark Majot. His name is Eric Fawcett. And clearly the dress code is cardigan sweater today for Consolation Semifinals. Let's talk about how these two teams got here, Eric. Yesterday, Carleton defeated Fraser Valley 75-58, and it's really not what Fraser Valley didn't do. It's just Carleton's a bit of a buzzsaw, aren't they?
I think so, and the matchup wasn't great. I mean, Fraser Valley is a team that has excellent post play, really good interior presence, but the guards are had a tough time with the very talented guard group of Carleton. So it was one of those situations where styles make fights. It was a team that likes to play fast, get up and down. A team that wanted to play a little bit slower with Fraser Valley, and Carleton was victorious. But Carleton's done that to a whole lot of teams this year. No shame in losing that one.
And on the flip side, Queens defeated SMU 69-54. St. Mary's had a hard time on the boards yesterday, and that could be something that pops up again tonight.
Absolutely. They're going to have quite a challenge on the inside, but at the same time, those Huskies guards, very talented, some electric scores, and they were a little bit quiet yesterday. And you know what? You look at their season, it's not often that they're cold for 2 games in a row, so I'm looking at a couple of those players to really get loose and start putting up points in a hurry.
And these games can be a little bit tricky. Neither of these teams want to be playing here right now. Obviously, they want to be playing in semifinals Saturday, but it's interesting to see the motivation and how this is still a game, and regardless of standing or schedule, they still want to go out and play these games. I'm curious to see what kind of start we have tonight.
Yeah, and it was interesting to see the body language in warm-ups. I thought both teams were having a lot of fun. They both looked loose, and I do actually think that they're going to show some enthusiasm to be here, and I don't think that's going to be a problem. But like you said, it can be, and you do wonder if one team goes on a run, could the team that's behind say, like, you know what, that maybe at that point we don't want to be here. But right now at the opening tip, I do think these are two enthusiastic teams that are ready to get after it for what they hope is not the last time.
St. Mary's Huskies came all the way from Halifax. They had a conference record of 17-3. Gold medals in the AUS conference. Meanwhile, the Fraser Valley Cascades, they went 17-3 in Canada West and took home bronze in Canada West. So 2 teams have already won some hardware, and they're looking to stay alive and extend their trip at Nationals. We are going to take a quick pause for the land acknowledgement, national anthems, and we'll be back with starting lineups and keys to the game. You're watching the U Sports Final 8 Women's Basketball Championship on CBC Sports. Both teams are set. Fraser Valley wearing the white uniforms with green trim, and Saint Mary's wearing the black with a maroon and white trim. Let's take a look at the starting five for both teams. Let's start with Saint Mary's. They are to our broadcast right. Their starting five will be Courtney Donaldson, Clara Gascoigne, Alana McMillan, Marlo Steenbakers, as well as Lucina Beaumont. Eric, what is the key to victory for SMU tonight?
They play very fast, and when they've had success this year, it has been all about them getting the ball up the floor, getting a good shot quickly, and running their opponents out of the gym. And especially against a Fraser Valley team that wants to play slower and more methodical, the Huskies have to see this as a game that they can win if they can dictate terms in terms of transition.
And on the flip side, let's take a look at the starting five for the University of Fraser Valley Cascades, coming to us all the way from Abbotsford, British Columbia. It will be number 0, Nikki Kabuko, number 1, Google Sidhu, number 4, Maddie Gobey, number 10, Julia Tukshera, and number 15, Deanna Tukshera, led by Al Tukshera. So it's a family affair over on the Cascade side. Eric, what's the key to victory for Fraser Valley?
It's the advantage in the front court. Julia Tukshera, Deanna Tukshera, coming off the bench, Natalie Rathler. They have a lot of players that can really get it done on the inside, and that is their biggest advantage, whether it be posting them up, getting them on some of those flex cuts they were running yesterday, or the offensive glass. They can really dominate the paint if they're at their best, and that is going to be a focus for them if they're going to be victorious.
We are almost set to get underway. Consolation semifinal number 1. As we mentioned off the top, neither team really planned to be in this position. However, once the clock starts, it's the same old game they've been playing their entire lives. And it looks like we're going to have a bit of a delayed tip, just by a couple minutes or so. So taking a look at the St. Mary's team, they have a lot of talented players. We mentioned Scott Monroe in his 15th season behind the bench. AUS Coach of the Year 4 times over, including this season. They won AUS Gold this past season, and talented players. Alana McMillan, first team All-Star, as well as the championship MVP. They have a couple second team All-Stars, and Eric, that's what's so fun about tournaments like this. You're really getting the best of the best. You're getting some of the talented players, not just in these conferences, but talented throughout the entire nation.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking about from across the nation, even one thing I love about U Sports basketball is the fact that there are different leagues. You can kind of start to see different kind of micro ecosystems develop between leagues. There's a kind of a distinct style of play in Canada West, a little bit of a distinct style of play in Ontario, but there's definitely a distinct style of play out in the Maritimes where there's teams like St. Mary's who want to run and gun. So I really do feel like in a way they're kind of representing the AUS, representing this style of play of playing fast, playing athletic, shooting a lot of threes. So there's definitely a pride to that, and it's something that I look forward to seeing against, again, a Canada West team that's a little bit more methodical, likes to run a little bit more actions and play inside out. It's always nice when you can see this clash of styles, and when you've got, really a coast-to-coast matchup where you see where these schools are located.
It will be Julia Tukshera off against Clara Gascoigne, and we are underway. Consolation semifinal number 1. We thank you for tuning in. Wherever you're watching us in this beautiful country of ours, coast to coast, St. Mary's controls the tip. Looking to draw first blood. 3-pointer is going to come up short. And Maddie Gobey in perfect position for that rebound, and here comes Fraser Valley. Maddie Gobey, first team All-Star in Canada West, kicks it out to Deanna Tukshera for 3. That one rattles around. Lucina Beaumont there to collect the rebound, and she brings it across half for the Huskies. Drops it off for Donaldson. Good ball movement here by the Huskies early. Gascoigne flips it out to McMillan for 3, and that one's short. Perfect position for that rebound was Beaumont. We got our first points of the game.
It always seems like those air ball offensive rebounds go to the offense, and they're a pretty good box out position for the Cascades, but because the ball doesn't hit the rim, it's an easy one for the offense.
Gobey to her right, directing traffic, zips it over to Kabuko, finds down low to Tukshera, and the Cascades are on the board for the first time.
Yeah, good post players score before they catch the ball, and there you saw we're just carving out position. She got it, and again, here's St. Mary's basketball on the other side. Play fast, push it up the wing, and shoot a three.
Clara Gascoigne with the three. She was the Defensive Player of the Year in AUS. She can really do it all for the Huskies. Tuchscherer. Good ball move here. Deanna Tuchscherer. Too strong on that one. Rebound gobbled up by Beaumont, and here comes SMU. With speed and numbers. Gascoigne for three. That one's short, and that's going to be out of bounds, so it will be Fraser Valley ball just 2 minutes into this first quarter.
Yeah, not a bad look. And again, on one side, just like we kind of talked about, there's the Cascades running post-ups, getting early seals, and there's St. Mary's flying up the court and getting three-point shots. They didn't make the last one, but I think they're going to be happy with that look.
Kabuko finds Deanna Tuchscherer. Julia. And that is tipped out of bounds by Beaumont, so it's going to remain Fraser Valley possession. Excuse me, a foul is called, so that's going to be the first foul of the game. It's going to go on Beaumont. So Gobey to inbound. She gets it back. 10 to go in the shot clock. Sidhu. Down low, out of bounds, and the officials are going to say last touch by Fraser Valley, so it will be SMU ball. McMillan averaged over 15 points in the regular season per game. Very talented scorer. Three-pointer by Donaldson off the mark. Neither team really shying away from the three-pointer early in this one. Sidhu was calling for it. I don't think Gobey saw her. Sidhu gets it in the corner, baseline. Deflected out of bounds by Lucina Beaumont. It seems like Beaumont's been everywhere in the first 2.5 for St. Mary's. Over the head of Tuchscherer, and she gets called for the travel.
And there's Beaumont again, making things uncomfortable on the catch, which really forced that travel. So defensively, very much having an impact so far.
McMillan across half. Strong pass to Donaldson. Her three is good. Courtney Donaldson.
Great play. You see that elevator screen where two players set up, let the shooter run in between, and then those two screeners close up like it's an elevator door, and that's a really good way to get a wide open three.
Looking like the Splash Brothers and the Golden State Warriors love to run that play. Tuchscherer has that almost stolen, but Gobey gets it back. 5 to go in the shot clock. Maddie Gobey for three. Misses to the right. Marlo Steenbakers. Nice dish as Gascoigne left wide open. She makes no mistake, and SMU out in front early. They lead 10-2. Timeout called.
And that is where McMillan is so good. We've seen it all year long, and we saw it last night. Those hit-ahead passes in transition, those are just the engine behind that St. Mary's offense.
10-2 St. Mary's leads with 6:36 remaining in the first. You're watching the U Sports Final 8 Women's Basketball Championship on CBC Sports.
Hey U Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
They don't do it for the likes or for the shares. They do it for the fun of it, for the thrill, for the camaraderie, for the memories. CBC Sports, just because they love it.
Welcome back to the Saville Community Sport Centre. SMU out in front 10-2. 6:36 remaining in the first quarter. And it's been all Huskies early on in this one.
Couple substitutions into the game. One player to watch out for Fraser Valley, Bernie Letta. I thought she played an excellent game yesterday, particularly on the defensive end, where she had a number of really high IQ plays to double down on some girls that had their back to the ball. And look for her to make a defensive impact here against Saint Mary's offense that's looked pretty good so far.
Rathler, wearing number 8 for Fraser Valley, hands it off to Kabuko. She loses the handle. Here come the Huskies. Strong pass to Gascoigne. Baseline jumper, too strong. That was Steenbaker's. Good job by SMU to get the rebound, get the second rebound, blocked by Tuchscherer. So good defense there by the Cascades, and here they come in transition. Nikki Kabuko hands it off to Maddie Gobe. Bernie Letta. Left hand, hoop, and the harm. Nice play there by Bernie Letta, looking to get the Cascades back in it. She's got a chance for a three-point play.
Yeah, you see this little split action. Guard comes off, opens up that big double gap. She can go right to her left hand, and great concentration and touch to take the contact while finishing. And again, this was kind of the case yesterday where she really provided a spark on both ends of the floor, and it looks like so far she's bringing that again.
She does complete the three-point play. It's a 10-5 ball game. McMillan puts it on the floor to Gascoigne. Back to McMillan. She spins in traffic, and that's a turnover, and here comes Fraser Valley. Bernie Letta, Rathler calling for it. Zips it over to Taylor. Gobe to her right. Spins. Rathler. Long two-pointer is good.
Thought Rathler had an awesome game yesterday, but so many of her shots at the rim just hit every part of the rim and fell out. So I feel like she really deserved one, so it's nice to see one get through early. She's a great energy post player off the bench.
Really good ball movement here by SMU. Three-pointer by Beaumont is good. So both teams starting to heat up a little bit here. 13-7 SMU leads. Taylor spins, left hand, too strong. Tuchscherer fights for the rebound, misses, gets her own rebound, tries to look for help. And a foul is called. We'll see who the guilty party is. And that's gonna go against Caitlin Power, her first for SMU. And Fraser Valley will inbound. Rathler to Taylor. Back to Gobe. Gobe with a left hand in traffic, no good. Rebound gobbled up there by McMillan, and here come the Huskies. Beaumont spins, loses it, but they will remain in possession. The officials say last touch by Fraser Valley. There you get a look, and great call. Last touch by Tuchscherer, and that shot is off the mark, and Rathler comes flying in for that rebound and rips it loose. And that one looked like it hit the head of Aaliyah Fraser. Wasn't really paying attention. Beaumont for three. That is good. Lucina Beaumont has 8 points, 2 for 2 from beyond the arc, and it's a 16-7 lead for the Huskies. Bernie Letta to Gobe. Rathler. Gobe to Rathler. Hands it off to Taylor. She makes no mistake. That ball didn't want to fall, but it eventually did. Big bucket there for Fraser Valley. Three-pointer by McMillan is good. So the Huskies starting to feel themselves from three there. 50%, 5 for 10 from beyond the arc.
Yeah, that was a confident take after missing her first couple, but three-point shooting can be contagious, and with Beaumont knocking one down, McMillan followed it up, and now we have another great play at the rim for an and one from a Cascade guard.
Taylor looks to complete the three-point play, and just a heads-up play, again with the left hand. We've seen the Cascades do this a couple times.
That's a great job just going until someone stops you. She was just able to kind of put her head down and get all the way to the rim, this time with the left. And again, really good balance and body control to take that contact while still finishing.
And she does complete the three-point play. Donaldson across half for SMU. Directing traffic. Strong pass to Power. Power spins, fires off the glass, no good. Gets her own rebound, looking for help, puts it on the floor to Donaldson. Gascoigne. Donaldson for three. Short, Rathler with the rebound, however, goes right out of bounds, so the Huskies will regain possession with 2:44 left in the first. It will be Julia Black to inbound. Great play as no one was near Clara Gascoigne.
A smart read by Gascoigne. Could have taken the screen over top of the key. Instead, she just rejects it and goes to the back door for an easy one. As a coach, those are the ones you just absolutely love. Easy money on a baseline out of bounds under the rim, and just a really, really smart play from Gascoigne.
Rathler. Inbounds. Taylor didn't quite get enough on that one, and here come the Huskies in transition. Donaldson. Moves right, fakes left. Now goes left. Was being watched like a hawk by Bernie Letta. Letta just a little too aggressive, and she gets called for the foul, her first of the evening. The ball seemed to have rolled away from the official. A lot of running there by Julia Black as she gets set to inbound. Gascoigne. Black for three. Short. Gobet, perfect position for that rebound, and here comes Fraser Valley, down by 9. Gobet puts it on the floor, deflected, stolen. Gascoigne. Nice play in motion. Black just put a little too much on that, but the Huskies get it back. And they struggled in the rebound margin yesterday, but they're thriving this afternoon. That three-pointer by Wilson was off the mark. Now Letta with her head up. Charging down the floor to Rathler. She's directing traffic. 95 seconds left in the first. Gobet. In the corner for Letta. That three-pointer looked like it was partially blocked. And an offensive rebound by Durella. Donaldson. Three-pointer here by Gascoigne is good. So after maybe going a little bit cold, missing 3 in a row, SMU gets a big three-pointer, put themselves up by 12. Rathler, under a minute remaining. Letta. Trying the other side, that one doesn't fall. Rebound snatched up there by Wilson. Donaldson across half. Black wide open in the corner for 3. That is good. She had all the time in the world to hit that one. And she made no mistake. Her first points of the evening has opened up a 15-point advantage for the Huskies.
The Huskies are just running so wide in transition. The defender had to decide whether they take the rim runner or the corner. They leave the corner, and again, this is turning into target practice right now by the Huskies. They're getting just wide open looks whenever they push it, and we're seeing they're pretty flammable from 3, and everyone's knocking them down right now.
Marika Duralia picks up her first foul, so she will take a seat with 22.6 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Chloe Wilson to inbound for SMU. Shot clock turned off as McMillan casually brings it up the floor. Black. And a lane violation. committed by SMU, so it will be Fraser Valley ball with 5.8. They're going to have to boogie. Bernie Letta takes a look at the clock. 3 seconds to go. In the corner, Sea-Doo for three as time expires off the side of the backboard. And that will do it. And at the end of the first quarter, SMU leads 27-12. And the Cascades have quite the hole to dig out of in the final 3 quarters. You are watching the U Sports Final 8 Women's Basketball Championship on CBC Sports.
The exchange was awesome. Yeah.
You have the power to inspire and impact the climate.
(27-12) St. Mary's leads after the first quarter. Clara Gascoigne has a game-high 10 points, 2 for 3 from 3. Lucina Beaumont 8 points and 4 boards for St. Mary's. And for Fraser Valley, Taylor has a team-high 5 points and Bernie Letta has 3. But the Cascades certainly have their work cut out for them.
They do, and it's going to be a little bit of a challenge because, like we talked about, they like to play a little bit more slowly and methodically and play on the inside. They don't shoot a lot of threes. They don't make a lot of threes. So oftentimes when you're playing from behind, you want to be able to go on some of those streaks. But the Cascades aren't really built that way. So we'll see if they start to crank it up a little bit more or if they just keep with that identity of playing through the inside and playing through some of their sets. And again, I think they did have some success there on the inside, and it's something they will have to kind of continue to leverage and see if they can just slow down the general tempo of this game that has been fairly up and down, because that definitely goes in the favor of St. Mary's, who, again, when you look at that first quarter, I think functionally that went just about as well as they could have imagined, from the pace that they were able to push the game to the three-point shots they were able to create and make. I think they just have to be thrilled with how they're playing.
Absolutely, a 15-point advantage through the first quarter, and Fraser Valley will begin with the ball to start the second. It will be Deanna Tuchscherer. Sea-Doo puts on the ground to Julia Tuchscherer. She goes up, foul. Just 9 seconds into the second quarter, we have our first foul.
I love the play call. I mean, you come down after a little bit of a tough first quarter. What do you do first thing in the second quarter? Get a post up for your best player, who happens to be an interior player. I really do like that. Unfortunately, first free throw falls, but again, just from an identity standpoint, I think that's something you want to look to do here to get back in the game.
In the quarterfinal yesterday, Julia Tuchscherer had 15 points along with 13 rebounds. She was the leading rebounder for this team in conference play. And the Huskies looking for a response. Three-pointer by Steenbakers is no good. However, they get the offensive board. Long two-pointer is going to be long, out of bounds, and it will be Fraser Valley ball. Deanna Tuchscherer to inbound. SMU showing a bit of pressure as Google Sea-Doo. Julia Tuchscherer fights for it. Steenbakers tried to rip it out of her hands, and change of possession. It will be Huskies ball, not before Maddie Gobet checks back in for Fraser Valley.
Again, talking about dictating tempo, St. Mary's just shows a little bit of pressure. Fraser Valley decides to push the ball up the floor and maybe play at a pace they're not as comfortable with, and it turns into a tie-up. And that's just another example of St. Mary's being able to dictate the pace of play here.
McMillan to Black. To her right. McMillan, a long three-pointer, is short. And valiant effort there by Beaumont to try to keep it in bounds, however. She cannot do it, and it will be Cascades ball.
Saw that adjustment. We saw some zone on that possession. We also saw Cascades go to that against Carleton yesterday. So I'll be interested to see, do they try it moving forward a little more, just to change things up a little bit.
Gobet. Great job defensively there by Steenbakers. Sea-Doo wide open for three. A little too strong, however, a foul is called. And it's going to remain Fraser Valley ball as Lucina Beaumont picks up foul number 2.
See us a little bit of a push on the back on that rebound, clearing things out.
So Deanna Tuchscher to inbound. There you get a look at the Huskies bench. Traveled all the way from Halifax to be here for this weekend. Gobey for 3. That is good. Maddie Gobey.
Beautiful baseline out of bounds play. That set that screen for one of the post players. I think it's going inside. Then she gets an exit screen for a wide open 3. Really nice play design.
Beaumont works it around. It's up in the hands of Fraser. Steenbakers. McMillan. Beaumont, corner 3. Thought it was going to get the friendly bounce. It did not, and that's going to be out of bounds, but will remain Husky ball. So bit of a clunky start in the second quarter. Not a lot of flow to this, but I think if you're SMU, you're still thrilled to be up by 11.
Yeah, and I like it from Fraser Valley. Try to make this thing a little bit more stop and start, and you've seen the zone kind of throw things off a little bit for the Huskies so far, and we'll see if they stay in it or what their next adjustment is.
Nice move there by Donaldson, baseline, but a better read by Gobey. She has help, misses the shot. Sea-Doo there for the rebound. Tuchscher missed the shot, gets her own rebound. Kabuko for 3. Just miss it to the left, and Deanna Tuchscher is going to pick up the foul. Her first. Here come the Huskies, looking for a response. Up by 11. McMillan. Steenbakers. Fraser is calling for it. Stolen by Kabuko, and here comes Gobey with speed. For 3. Kind of an off-balance shot there, but Julia Tuchscher there for the rebound. Fighting against Steenbakers for it. And that will send Fraser Valley to the line for 2. And it will be Julia Tuchscher.
That's the thing about Julia Tuchscher. I mean, the Cascades will run a lot of action for her, and then there's also times where she can kind of take matters into her own hands and create offense that way with the offensive glass.
Timeout called by SMU. There is 7:19 remaining in the second quarter. You're watching the Consolation Semifinal U Sports Final 8 Women's Basketball Championship on CBC Sports.
It's that moment again, the one you dream of every night. La seule chose qui te préoccupe, c'est la gloire.
Yeah, that's going to be a smart timeout, I'm going to say, from the Fraser Valley sideline. 1 second on the shot clock. That is something to be aware of here. There's no reset. So only 1 second, so they're going to have to look for something quick, whether at the rim or maybe the near corner. And again, this is good timeout usage. What do you have timeouts for? To try to steal a possession here or there. So if you can turn 1 second on the shot clock into a bucket, that's a huge boost, especially when you're behind. So look for something special here. Maybe a play they don't normally run. And again, I'm looking for, can you get a screen and then a quick lob at the rim, or maybe again they had success with the screener play to the near corner, and you might see something like that again. And again, as with every single baseline out of bounds that Fraser Valley runs, here's 4 flat across the baseline, which does give them a lot of space if they do want to throw up a ball towards the rim. Spacing out in that 4 flat kind of gives that opportunity. As there's also some space here if they want to get something to the near corner.
So 1 second left. She's got a fire. And I don't think Bernie let her realize how little time she had. on the clock, which is kind of a miscommunication coming out of that timeout. Not really the best execution there by Fraser Valley.
Yeah, like you said, I'm not sure she knew the clock situation, and coming out of a timeout, that's it's hard to imagine. But again, also a tough situation to try to get a score, and
sure.
well defended by Saint Mary's, who again we're thinking exactly what we were thinking. Take away the rim.
Beaumont makes a nice move in the paint. Strong finish by Lucina Beaumont, a second-team All-Star in the conference. That's kind of a 4-point swing there if you count the missed opportunity by Fraser Valley. Deanna Tuchscher zips it over to Taylor in the corner, and she steps out of bounds. If you're not familiar with this gym, the out-of-bounds margins can really sneak up on you, and I know Fraser Valley has played in this gym. They're no strangers, but it catches everyone eventually. Beaumont, 2.5 left in the first half. Nice jump shot there, but it was short. And here comes Taylor. Fania Taylor. Sea-Doo. Looked like that got blocked by Gascoigne, but it's going to remain Cascades ball. As Kayla Smith checks in for the first time. And Julia Tuchscher also checks back in. Letta inbounds. Bernie Letta, nice fake. That was tipped and swatted right to the defender. Great play there by Clara Gascoigne. Long three-pointer here for Black is short, and that ends up in the front row. So now the Cascades, big 152 coming up, as they'd love to get this deficit to just single digits heading into halftime. Letta puts it on the floor, and that pass was a little too strong for Tuchscher. She couldn't handle it. So it will be SMU ball with 1:42 left. Steenbakers. Donaldson. Gascoigne. Three-pointer here for Donaldson is good. And after starting off decent, St. Mary's not afraid to chuck up some three-pointers. 8 for 24. 24 attempts in the first half from three. As Deanna to Julia Tuchscher is good, and Julia's going to have a chance to complete the three-point play. I'm sure they practiced that a few times over their careers growing up. Of course, they are sisters.
And you can see here in transition, Tuchscher just goes right in a straight line underneath the rim, sets up camp, sits right there in the dunker spot, and again, so strong. We've seen that all weekend long. Even with contact, she's able to get that ball through, get it up on the rim, and finish.
Looking to complete the three-point play, and she does just that. Courtney Donaldson across half for the Huskies. Black.
It's that moment again, the one you dream of every night. La seule chose qui te préoccupe, c'est la gloire. Le cheminement de la réussite, of pushing yourself further than ever before. But the true glory is in the shadows. Les sacrifices que tu fais, quand toutes les chances sont contre toi, when you can't push one more second, chase the glory. Visez haut.
Welcome back inside the Saville Community Sport Centre. Consolation semifinal number 1 between the Saint Mary's Huskies and the University of Fraser Valley Cascades, where SMU has a 36-25 advantage at the half. I'm Mark Majot. Please be joined alongside Eric Fawcett. And Eric, let's take a quick second to revisit our keys to the game. Let's start with Fraser Valley. They have some work to do down by 11. You said they were really going to need to focus on the front court. Do you think they're able to do that in that first half?
I'm going to say no. I mean, there was moments, and we saw especially Tuchscherer there on the inside get hers a little bit, but I'm not sure they were able to establish it in the way that they were really looking for. And I do wonder if they need to run a little bit more action, a few more plays, and see if they can get the ball inside and take advantage of that size.
And on the flip side for the Huskies, you said play fast. And it certainly looked like they were playing fast in a few moments out there.
Yeah, that first quarter with 27 points, much of it coming due to pushing the ball in transition, particularly nice and wide for those catch-and-shoot threes. So while they weren't able to sustain it totally and it was slowed down a little bit, especially by that zone of Fraser Valley, the reason that they have a lead right now is a big 27-point first quarter. So they definitely did it for a time and were very successful with it.
Underway in the second half. The winner of this matchup will face the winner of the matchup after this between Alberta and Calgary tomorrow afternoon. Neither team's shooting the ball particularly well tonight, as that three-pointer by Gascoigne is off the mark. St. Mary's just shooting 31.7% from the field, and the Cascades 29%. And foul going to go against Maddie Gobet, her first. Three-pointer by Donaldson, a little too strong as Gobet with the rebound, head up, finds a streaking Google Sidu with speed. She curls. Tuchscherer finds Tuchscherer down low, Deanna to Julia.
And that's beautiful high-low action there. Again, what we just talked about, could they run a little bit more to get Tuchscherer inside? She does a great job to get a seal and then an even better pass to get over the hands of the defender. And by the time she caught it again, she was wide open to score.
And the Huskies bench issued a warning by the official. McMillan, Steenbaker for three. Little too strong. Beaumont there for the rebound. Baseline, floater, tough shot, can't get that to fall. Gobet there for the rebound, and here come the Cascades. Gobet has Deanna Tuchscherer, looking for it. Deflected out of bounds, and it will be Husky ball.
And that was really nice by Steenbakers. Didn't see the ball necessarily, but knew just based on where she was on the floor that she should throw her hands up, and the ball gets deflected right into her, and it's a double touch. So they regain possession, but that's really good defense from her in transition.
McMillan was bumped by Sidu. That's going to be foul number 2. Sidu averaged just under 6 points per game in the regular season. Steenbakers can't quite finish, but she gets the offensive rebound. Takes a step to her left, draws the foul, and that will send Marlo Steenbakers to the line. To the line, her team ahead by 9. Gets it back to double digits. And that lead is 11. Google Sea-Doo turns on the Jets. Burst of speed across half, puts it on the floor at Deanna Tuchscherer to Julia. Back to Deanna, nice give and go, but a nice block by Steenbaker's a little too aggressive as she's called for the foul. It's going to be foul number 3.
Yeah, I'm liking this action. There's that kind of blind back screen, that shin screen for Deanna Tuchscherer, and those actions, we saw the high-low earlier to Julia Tuchscherer, and now this different action to get the ball inside. Like, again, we're seeing why that's so hard to defend when you have the kind of size that Fraser Valley does on the inside.
First free throw attempt is off the mark. Goes 0 for 2, and Steenbaker's there for the rebound. And quickly in motion, here come the Huskies. McMillan hands it off to Steenbaker's. Back to McMillan. Zips it out of bounds. So a turnover, and it will be Fraser Valley ball. It will be Deanna to inbound. Hands it off to Kabuko, who finds Sea-Doo. Gobe takes his couple steps to her right for 3. That's going to be off the mark. Julia Tuchscherer in perfect position for the rebound. Gobe gets it right back, misses again. McMillan there for the rebound. McMillan fires it back out to Donaldson. That 3 is going to be short. Good job by Tuchscherer just to kind of deflect that to Kabuko's. Gobe going one-on-one. She spins against Gascoigne, makes no mistake.
Gobe has been so good in the paint this season and is so patient. You see that even in transition. Wasn't in a hurry, took things at her own pace, set up the spin beautifully and finished. And now this is a great steal here from Tuchscherer.
Looking for help, finds Kabuko. Read perfectly by Steenbaker's, and here come the Huskies with numbers, 3 against 2. Donaldson for 3, and looks like that was partially blocked by Gobe. Kabuko takes the tumble, and the ball goes out of bounds. Aaliyah Fraser checks in for Saint Mary's, wearing number 13, as Courtney Donaldson takes a seat. Steenbaker's tries to work that defender over. Tough shot with the left hand, doesn't fall. Sea-Doo. Tuchscherer. Gobe. Good ball moving here by Fraser Valley. Nice spin by Deanna Tuchscherer, goes up and under and is fouled. And that will send the Cascades to the line as Lucina Beaumont picks up foul number 3. Timeout called with 6:28 remaining in the third. SMU leads 38-29. You're watching the Consolation Semifinal U Sports Final 8 Women's Basketball Championship on CBC Sports.
They don't do it for the likes or for the shares. They do it for the fun of it, for the thrill, for the camaraderie, for the memories. CBC Sports, just because they love it.
Welcome back inside the Saville Community Sport Centre. The fans continuing to trickle in as the host side Alberta Pandas in action following this one. They're getting a look at Nikki Kabuko as her teammate Deanna Tuchscherer shoots free throws. Deanna Tuchscherer is a third-team All-Star in Canada West this season. Has a really impressive season for the Cascades. I mentioned off the top, 17-3, took home bronze in Canada West. And a nice play there by Sea-Doo as Fraser Valley will inbound with 6:27 remaining in the second. Gobet with a nice inbound pass, and she gets it back. And a bit of a reach in. I believe it's going to go against Chloe Wilson.
So again, you just know with every baseline out of bounds being 4 flat, it's always going to be a screen and a duck in of some sort on the inside. It just puts so much pressure on a defense to fight back in front and take away those early post ups.
Gobet, a nice give and go. However, her shot doesn't fall. And a tie up, and it's going to remain Cascades ball. SMU having a hard time getting out of their own end right now. Still ahead by 9. Gobet. Tuchscherer spins, left hand, too strong. Good job there to collect the rebound by Power as she finds McMillan. Strong pass as Gascoigne fires that into the third row. And it will be Cascades ball. Fraser Valley closing the gap a little bit here in the third quarter.
Yeah, and as it seems like we have a whistle on every possession for an out of bounds or a foul or anything like that, it kind of feels like that tempo is a little bit more in Fraser Valley's favor.
Bernie Letta to her left, lobs it over to Gobet. Tried to seed that through a sea of black jerseys.
And I think that was a double dribble in front of us that every official had their head turned running back in transition. We'll see if it amounts to anything.
And we certainly heard the Fraser Valley bench react to that one to our broadcast left. Fraser, 4 to go in the shot clock. They got to get something up now. Rising, firing. Off the mark was Gascoigne. And here comes Fraser Valley. Long pass ahead to Letta. Good job there to collect that one. However, her pass just out of reach of Tuchscherer. Fraser slows things up and zips it over to McMillan. Elena McMillan. Foul called. And that's going to go against Bernie Letta. And take a look at that non-call. You can see Maddie Gobet you can see everyone basically reacting to that, including my broadcast partner, Eric Fawcett.
You could see too in that replay from a very good angle that the official was blocked by a player and didn't see that the pass was attempted by McMillan. And again, it just so happens in the game. And there's a moving screen here, and that'll be Chloe Wilson. Get another look at that moving screen. Just a little bit of a movement there, but as a defender, you fight hard over those screens, and little movements like that will make the refs respond.
4:30 left in the third. That is stolen. Here comes Gascoigne. Puts it on the floor to Power. Too strong. McMillan there for the rebound, though. 2 white jerseys for her. She brings it out of pressure. 7 to go in the shot clock. Gobet just a little too handsy.
And I feel like you might be able to kind of start to hear the circus music getting a little bit louder in the background as some weird plays. Again, on the right after this not called double dribble and shot clock violation, there was a uncharacteristic turnover from Fraser Valley where Gobet wasn't looking towards the ball, and then a missed layup in transition, and now a foul that gets McMillan to the line. But again, if you're Fraser Valley, I think that you're thinking, hey, we're not really playing our best basketball right now, and we're totally in this game with 4 minutes left in the third quarter.
Absolutely. Still anybody's ball game as McMillan hits her second attempt to put the lead back up to 11. Bernie Letta. To Gobey. Letta with speed in traffic. Shot doesn't go, however. A foul is called against Aaliyah Fraser. So that's foul number 3 for Fraser, and that will send Bernie Letta to the line.
I really like that play call there. You see Letta set that cross screen, that flex screen, and then immediately got a down screen to get open for a possible three-point look. She catches and rips, and again, I really like that kind of action because it makes the defense guard two things. They have to guard that possible post up for Pointe-Claire, then you've got a guard coming off a down screen, and you start to get the defense in rotation. That turned into a foul. So nice play call, and again, I think that's where Fraser Valley's at their best, getting into their play call, going through progressions, and making Saint Mary's guard multiple actions.
Gascoigne to Wilson. Wilson fires a bullet down low to Power. She zips it out to McMillan for 3. That off the mark to the left. Sidhu. It finds Gobey. Back to Sidhu. 5 to go in the shot clock. Tip drill ends up in the hands of Chloe Wilson. And McMillan with speed for SMU. And McMillan gets bumped.
And that will be an emphatically called timeout here by the Fraser Valley bench, who's maybe starting to feel this one slip a little bit. They don't want the Huskies to get any momentum.
Timeout called with 3:14 remaining in the third quarter. SMU holding on to a 10-point lead. This buffer has really never gotten closer than 8 or 9 points. So SMU comfortably ahead, but Fraser Valley, they're still in this ball game. They have to start hitting some shots, but they have to get some stops as well at the other end.
Oh, I think so. I think their defense has really kept them in it. I mean, this is the St. Mary's team that we know can be explosive because they scored 27 points in the first quarter. Maybe a little bit stunning to think that it's been only 13 more points in the last, close to 17 minutes of action. So the Cascades, their defense have kept them in it, but you could see on that last possession what Coach Tuchscherer was really upset with was some of the spacing and some of that action, again, trying to look to get that ball inside. And I do think full credit to Caitlin Power on St. Mary's, who's doing a really good job of fronting the post, taking away all those passing lanes. It eventually ended up into a turnover, and that's where we got the timeout called. But again, you can see looking into the huddle, looking into some of these actions, how do we get that ball inside and play out of that advantage, score, set our defense, and go on a run of ourselves. So, yeah, pretty spirited time out there from the Cascades, who, honestly have to be just pretty happy to be still in this game despite what has been, not a particularly stellar performance, I think they'd even say themselves so far.
3:14 remaining in the third quarter. As Elena McMillan to the line. McMillan 7 points tonight, make it 8 points. And she's got 9 points, drills both of those. Makes it a 12-point lead for SMU. Letta. Gobey. Rathler hands it off to Gobey. Gobey makes a nice move left hand, and that is blocked by Gascoigne. Again, showing why she was named Defensive Player of the Year in AUS. Making it look easy, using every inch of her 6-foot frame to swat that one away. Timed perfectly, and it's so hard to time a block like that.
Yeah, and to stay so vertical like you saw, so there was no chance at a foul for bumping with the body. She took a great angle, jumped straight in the air, and then had the length to block it away. And like you mentioned, I mean, it's the timing is honestly the biggest thing oftentimes with a block shot like that. And some players just have that instinct, and she certainly does. Oh, and that's a very, very good job again for Gascoigne guarding the ball in the inbounder. Caitlin Power got lost on a little decoy with Rathler going towards the rim. Was going to be a really easy chance for a backdoor, and looks like there'll be some discussion about what the shot clock situation is with a kicked ball there. And yeah, we will have 14 on the clock, which is big as opposed to 4 seconds.
Absolutely, especially if you remember what we saw late in the first half. Tuchscherer hands it off to Gobey. Got to do something, and good job there by Wilson. And Donaldson with speed. Gascoigne loses it, but it will remain SMU ball. Power hands it off to Black. Power gets it back. Long two-pointer for Black, doesn't fall. Letta puts it on the floor to Rathler. Sidu. Maddie Gobey. Miscommunication there as no one was there to receive that pass, and it's another turnover. And we talked about the turnovers a lot at half. 25 turnovers for Fraser Valley so far in this one, and there's still 12 minutes of gameplay. Gascoigne looking for help, finds Wilson. Gobey almost just strips that from Wilson. Three-pointer by Donaldson off the mark. Saint Mary's 8 for 34 from three, just 23%. Tuchscherer in traffic, too strong with the left hand. Rebound collected by the Huskies. Head-up play stolen, read perfectly by Maddie Gobey. She takes a look. 2 against 2, spins, left hand, blocked by Power. However, a foul is called. That will send the Cascades to the line.
And see the extension, like a big rangy cornerback reaching back to go grab that one, and then we saw that spin move earlier. Resulted in a bucket, and there draws the foul.
Fraser Valley 50% from the line tonight, just 7 for 14. As neither team, again, shooting the ball particularly well. The Huskies are 100% from the free throw line, but 24% from the field. 23% from three. Not much better for Fraser Valley there. 28% from the field and just 15 for three. Beaumont to inbound. 1:20 left in the third. Nice move there by Donaldson. Beaumont. Gascoigne has that poke loose. Rathler hits the deck. And she appears to be okay. Her left shoulder. She's getting up under her own power. Spent an extra 2 seconds on the floor. And that will send Clara Gascoigne to the line. So a little salt in the wound for Rathler. She goes down and gets called for the foul.
She's been such a high-energy player this weekend, and again, I just think she can kind of sense that her team needs a big play and laid it out all on the line there to try to go get a loose ball. So I think those are maybe in the fouls you live with when you're down double digits and struggling to make anything happen offensively. Have a player hit the floor like that, try to get a turnover. I think you like to see it.
Three-pointer launched by Letta, no good. Rathler there for the rebound. Falling away, that falls, and she's got a chance to complete the three-point play.
Yeah, and just as we're talking about her energy and just making something happen, there she gets on the glass aggressively, puts it right up and finishes through the contact. And again, I've been really impressed with what she's brought off the bench. There's so few teams across the country that have that kind of size and energy and veteran experience to bring an older player like that in that position. And this is why you have older players. This is why you try to get old and have experiences for times like this where you're staring down, okay, we're down double digits, who can make a play? And she's cut it down here to single digits.
Contact between Letta and Donaldson. And that foul's going to go against Letta.
Yeah, Letta always likes to be aggressive on the ball. And again, it almost looked like the ball handler was initiating a bit of that contact, but because the feet get tied up, she gets tripped up. And that's a situation that they put themselves in. But again, I think the half court defense has been pretty good. I'm not sure that's a foul you look to commit here in the bonus with 54 seconds left. But again, I also understand when you're struggling to score, maybe you need that turnover, try to get a pick six, get an easy layup on the other side. And again, Letta's always going to play aggressively on the ball, and it's going to result in some steals, also some fouls like that.
Donaldson hits her second. 45-34, SMU leads. Kabuko, Letta, Rathler. Back out, and a miscommunication as Rathler tipped that was going straight for Kabuko. However, Rathler tipped that out of bounds with 38.3 seconds left. Donaldson. Steenbakers. Wilson calling for it. Nice dish to Steenbakers. She can't finish. However, a miscommunication by Fraser Valley, and the Huskies get it right back. Gascoigne to Donaldson. Shot clock turned off. Donaldson being watched by Gobey. Black. And that shot's not going to count as Rathler draws the offensive foul.
We get a great look at it here, really good angle. Rathler rotates over in there in well enough time, and again, there she is laying her body on the line for her team and makes another big play. And with 7 seconds left, I mean, that's definitely enough time to get a pretty good look here. And wouldn't this be just huge if they can get a bucket?
Absolutely. Get that deficit to single digits at half. I think you'd be thrilled. They got to move quickly, though. Letta with a head of steam runs right into the defender. And it will be Huskies ball with 0.8 seconds left, so a missed opportunity there by the Cascades.
It is, but this is also very unlucky for Saint Mary's, who just lost their possession arrow for 0.8 seconds on the clock where you can't functionally do much, and now it's going to be Fraser Valley ball coming in. So at least there's a little bit of a break for the Cascades as they hope to get something going. It's like, hey, they cut it to single, or sorry, not quite to single digits, but they're staying in touch here going into the last 10.
45-34, SMU leads. After 3 quarters, you're watching the Consolation Semifinals U Sports Final 8 Women's Basketball Championship on CBC Sports.
The exchange was awesome. Yeah.
You have the power to inspire and impact the climate.
One more quarter to go. One of these teams' weekend is about to be over, and the other will take on the winner of Alberta and Calgary later tonight. Mark Majodjan alongside Eric Fawcett, and through 3 quarters, SMU is a 45-34 lead. Eric, take a look at the box score. I know turnovers are still a very big deal in this game, as taking a look now, 28 turnovers for Fraser Valley. What's jumping out to you?
Yeah, I think that number and maybe even the more functional number that comes from that points off turnovers, which has only been 19. I mean, only 19 for St. Mary's. That number could be a whole lot larger when you look at that total number. But it's 19 for St. Mary's and 7 for Fraser Valley. So when you look at a game that's 11 points, that starts to be a pretty big impact. And I think, again, a number that you, in terms of both makes and attempts, Fraser Valley 2 for 14 from the three-point line. So that tells you two things. I mean, it's not a great percentage, but it's also not even a lot of attempts. And then you see Saint Mary's 8 for 34, which does certainly say that they're playing their style. They're getting a lot of threes up. That's not a percentage they're going to be pretty happy with. But again, I think that a lot of times you look at these shots that they're taking, and the quality of them is quite high, and they really will be happy that they got open looks. And you've just got to wonder, will those start to fall in the way they do in the first quarter?
10 minutes to go in this one. Fraser Valley has their work cut out for them if they want to steal this victory. Gobey has that deflected right into the hands of Dickton. Was checked in for the first time tonight. Finds McMillan in the corner. Three-pointer for Black is short, and it will be Fraser Valley ball.
It's worth noting we're seeing a very different lineup than we've seen on the floor for really yesterday or today from Fraser Valley. A few players in there that haven't got a lot of burn so far today, and you wonder if that's just keeping the starters fresh here for the final run, or if it's trying to just find, hey, let's throw some other players in here and see who can be a spark. But it is worth noting that definitely changing it up here for the Cascades.
Great play there by Allison to keep it in bounds, however. Got a toenail on that line, so it will be SMU ball. McMillan gathering speed across half. Moves right, goes left, makes a nice move. Dickton to Black. Gobey hits the deck, still tried to get a hand on Black. Wilson, her shot doesn't go, but she gets the offensive rebound. Runs right into Duralia.
I mean, that was incredible from Gobey. Falls down on her back and still makes a play on the ball, swipes at it. And there you see the foul there.
Duralia picks up foul number 2, and she takes a seat.
Chloe Wilson didn't play as much yesterday, but this is just a perfect matchup for her. A lot more size to go up against than yesterday versus Carleton against Queens. And then you see the matchup is been pretty favorable, and she's done a great job on the defensive end, working with some of those fronts and then being a force there on offense.
Gobey, team down by 12. Gobey being watched by Gascoigne. Fires a dart over to Letta. Tuchscherer tries to go up and does a great job to draw the foul. As Julia Black, the guilty party, she picks up her first foul, and that will send Julia Tuchscherer to the line for 2.
Look at Tuchscherer, the way she seals off her defender, gives a big passing window where the ball can get thrown inside, and then everyone's just got to crash down and swipe at the ball. So really nice from Tuchscherer there.
First shot rattles around and doesn't drop. Second one falls. It's been a struggle on offense for both sides. Fraser Valley shooting 28.6% from the field, and St. Mary's 22.8. However, St. Mary's, I don't think they care too much because they're up by 11. Wilson. Dickton, 3 to go, and she is fouled, and that will send Emily Dickton to the line.
The Huskies just made the Cascades have to guard like 5 or 6 curls on the same play. That continuity where it's constantly wide pin downs, everyone curling towards the rim, and you make a defense guard that many curls on the same play. One of them's going to be open. So really good job, just wear down the defense.
Timeout called with 7:58 remaining in the fourth. Let's take a look at how we got here. An 11-point lead for St. Mary's, and they've been in control really all evening long. They have led the entire game.
Now seeing these three-point shots fall, what is, really ultimately been the difference so far, it was that initial punch from St. Mary's knocking down all these perimeter shots. They got that double-digit lead, and it's kind of just been maintaining for the next, 22 minutes. So we'll see. You've seen that that's kind of what got them here to the final 8 was that 3-point shooting and pace. So and you saw for just doing it at a really high level for a quarter has so far been the difference.
Saint Mary's 8 for 35 three attempts through 32 minutes of game action. That number jumps out. Again, the turnovers we chatted about, but Fraser Valley find themselves down by 11, but they are dominating the rebound margin. They have a 12-point advantage. Although St. Mary's sneaky 17 offensive rebounds.
Yeah, and especially that was one of the that's one of the downsides of playing the zone that especially we saw in that second quarter is it's difficult to rebound against the zone. It's difficult to rebound a team that shoots a lot of threes, a lot of longer rebounds. So that almost makes that defensive effort just that the Cascades had even more impressive with the fact that there was just so many possessions for the Huskies as they continued to rebound their own misses. But again, that's one of the advantages, again, about playing a lot of threes or shooting a lot of threes. You might go cold for much of the game, but you also have a stretch where you hit a bunch, which is what they did in the first quarter. You get a lot of offensive rebounds, control the tempo that way, and that's the difference until we can see the Cascades maybe respond.
Gobet, that ball goes through her legs, and she is blocked by Gascoigne. Once again, the block machine known as Clara Gascoigne has been a force on defense all season long for St. Mary's, making plays just like that. Tuchscherer lobs it up, and first points, she has 12 points. Still an 11-point advantage for St. Mary's. Three-pointer, short. Seadu there with the rebound, and here come the Cascades. Google Seadu, lobs it up, no good. Rebound there collected by Gascoigne. Crosses over at half. Fires a dart over to Fraser. Fraser's three is short. Dickton there with the rebound. Her shot doesn't go. Wilson in perfect position. That shot doesn't go, but Chloe Wilson will go back to the line to shoot two.
You just never really felt like that Cascades defense was set, and often when you're not set, you start to give up offensive rebounds. It's long closeouts, and eventually then Wilson has been very, very good, just sticking around the rim, whether being available for dump offs or offensive rebounds. She's been a big force in this one.
Wilson misses her first attempt. St. Mary's has only missed 3 times from the line tonight. She hits her second. Maddie Gobet in the corner. Julia Tuchscherer. Three-pointer for Kabuko is too strong. McMillan there for the rebound. Wilson gives it right back to McMillan, who finds Fraser in the corner. She puts a strong pass on the ground to Dickton. Good job there by Lita to keep it in bounds. And now here come the Cascades. Bernie Letta. Tuchscherer cuts through defenders, and that almost fell. Good job there by McMillan. 12-point advantage for the Huskies. McMillan goes up, and she is fouled. And that will send Elena McMillan back to the line, looking to add to her game-high 13 points.
Yeah, she's just a blur in transition, and here makes one move, gets to her dominant hand, and Gobet never turns to see the ball, so there's no one to help. And again, that's really when St. Mary's has been at their best. The ball in McMillan's hands, pushing the tempo, and they get rewarded for it.
First attempt is successful. And look like there is a little violation, however the shot counts anyways. A 14-point advantage for the Huskies. Deanna Tuchscherer finds Seadu. And a push from behind there by Wilson. It's going to be foul number 3 for Wilson, and not incredibly subtle with that push. So Gobey to inbound. Nice touch to Deanna Tuxera. Kabuko off the glass. Really nice touch there for Nikki. She's got 5 points. 12-point lead for Saint Mary's. Huskies have been in control all evening long. Aaliyah Fraser has that stolen by Maddie Gobey. She takes a look, decides to bring it across half herself. Spins right into a trap. And Deanna Tuxera called for a foul, just a little too aggressive. And because they are in the bonus, that will send St. Mary's to the line. It will be Emily Dickton, second year forward for the Huskies. So St. Mary's just padding their lead with these free throws. Comfortably ahead by 13, make that 14. Gobey for 3, takes a step back, off the mark.
You don't see too many shots like that, early ones off the dribble for the Cascades, but you almost wonder, are we getting to that point where they've got to start to let it fly with, just over 5 minutes left here. Double-digit deficit.
Running out of time, 3-pointer off the mark by McMillan. Wilson there for the rebound. Gascoigne off the glass. Really nice touch there by Clara Gascoigne. 15 points for the reigning AUS Defensive Player of the Year. Tuxera spins, fires, nice jump shot, her first points of the evening. Haven't really seen a lot of baseline jumpers tonight. Donaldson. Gascoigne gets the friendly bounce, and that 3 falls. First 3-pointer in a while for St. Mary's. Deanna Tuxera loses the handle, no foul called, so it will be Huskies ball. Courtney Donaldson across half. Being watched by Letta. And a bit of a free-for-all on the floor. It will remain Huskies ball with 4:08 left in the 4th. Time is certainly running out for Fraser Valley, down by 17 with 4 minutes and change to go.
And just with the way that the difficulty points have been coming on both sides, that 17's feeling like quite a climb. But hey, we've seen crazier things happen here at the U Sports level. So get a stop here, get something quick on the other end, and hey, maybe you can make something happen.
Nice inbound play. Gascoigne can't finish. Gobey. Tuxera can't handle that pass as Gobey. And it's going to be Husky ball. She disagrees. Has really been impressed by the motor on Maddie Gobey tonight. Never takes a play off, and she got bumped by Wilson. I think that's what she wanted the foul on.
Yeah, not fun as a player to have anyone diving near your legs. I thought that was close to being pretty scary for McMillan, so I can see why she's upset, but I'm happy to see her back up and playing with the same level of pace she always does, because those can be a little bit dangerous.
Donaldson fouled by Letta. 5-on-5 crime.
There's McMillan coming out of the game, and you have to wonder if that might be the last moment she sees for tonight.
Yep. Reminder, this team, the winner of this game will face the winner of the next matchup we have. And these these tournaments can be really so tough. You're playing in foreign gyms. Start times are a little bit different as well to what you're kind of used to. And, unfortunately, there are a couple teams that are going to go winless at this tournament, and that's reality about the single elimination tournaments. It can be really tough on a couple programs.
I mean, we even caught wind just about a quarter ago from some other members of the broadcast team, something pretty crazy happening on the men's side with the number 1 seed, a Victoria team that has been tremendous all year long, and a lot of tremendous talent brought back from very good teams last couple of years, and they went down in the quarterfinals to an 8 seed in a game that they probably are pretty heavily favored to win, which just speaks to how how ruthless things can be in March in a single elimination tournament.
Absolutely. 3-pointer by Pointe-Claire, no good. Gascoigne there for the rebound. Donaldson. 3 minutes remaining in this one. Puts it on the floor to Wilson. And this has been a rather rough fourth quarter for both teams. Get the ice baths ready. Going to be lots of bumps and bruises after this one. Chloe Wilson at the line. As Eric mentioned earlier, didn't play a ton yesterday, but playing a lot of minutes here, especially in the second half for the Huskies.
You see, for the Cascades, they have all their starters on the floor, and it's also just a reminder that all these 5 players can be back. Only one fifth-year. That was Natalie Raffler, who I thought was very, very good off the bench and brought a spark. But this could we might definitely see this Cascade team back, as a little bit of a chippiness, as always seems to happen on these kind of held balls. But
frustration starting to seep in just a tad for this Fraser Valley team.
Certainly looks that way, but it's good to know that at least these 5 on the floor can be back and could be absolutely competing in Canada West again. Well, absolutely could be back in Final 8.
I think you'll hear the term a lot next season for this Cascades as unfinished business. Of course, I think when this season ends, they'll be happy bringing home a Canada West bronze. But as you mentioned a couple times, Eric, the fact that they can bring back essentially 98% of their roster, they have a veteran head coach in Al Pointe-Claire who's going to be entering his 19th season. This Fraser Valley team could be forced to be reckoned with next season in Canada West.
Yeah, they just showed the replay that you also just saw in your broadcast of what looked to be a pretty hard foul. We do have the big screen here on here in the gym, and the Saint Mary's contingent is not particularly happy, and for a reason. I will also say it is worth noting that, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, this is not Division I basketball. This is not the NBA. This is not a FIBA international event. I don't believe the officials can look at those replays and make any further rulings, but you have to wonder if they could go to the monitor, as it's often said in the pro game, if there could have been maybe some supplemental foul. But again, like you mentioned, Mark, it just seems like a little bit of frustration, and you do see some more bench pieces here coming in for the Cascades and St. Mary's, and you wonder if this one can just go off without anything too crazy happening in the final 2 minutes 30.
Being an official is a very difficult job. We have the benefits of there's 4 or 5 screens around us right now. They're trying to monitor everything on the floor, everything away from the ball. It can certainly be very tough. 2 minutes left in this one. The Huskies well on their way to a victory. And Gobet was watching Donaldson.
I was kind of hoping that maybe the Cascades would actually use a foul intentionally there just to get a sub. You'll see Natalie Raffler, the 1 fifth-year player for the Cascades, getting an opportunity to get back in the game for what could be the last minutes of her collegiate career.
Yeah, that's an interesting dynamic about tournaments like this. You see careers come to an end, and every athlete's career comes to an end, and who knows what the future holds for her, but certainly should be proud of a 5-year Canada West career. Been a big part of this Fraser Valley program. Kind of the growth and the trajectory that they're on. As the Huskies are really going deep into their bench now with 2 minutes remaining. And now I think we can confidently say, Eric, the Huskies will be playing tomorrow afternoon.
It looks like that for sure. And I'm going to be really interested to see who they end up playing because, again, we talked so much during this game about different styles, and of course we'll get into it before the broadcast of the next game, but two different styles between University of Alberta and University of Calgary, and for both teams, I will say, like to get it up, so you know that's going to be an up-tempo game with whoever Saint Mary's is playing, and again, we kind of thought before this game, okay, who's going to play motivated? I think both teams certainly did, but maybe Saint Mary's just had a little bit more of an edge, and that could power them through.
Black.
That was still Caitlin Power in the game. I thought she's played very, very well. As has Beaumont again getting in. Said her name a lot earlier. She had played a huge role in building that initial lead.
As Julia Black picks up the foul, it's going to be foul number 2. 1:17 remaining in this one. 68-41 SMU leads. Rathler, as the time ticks down on her Canada West career. That pass just out of reach. And a collision there between Dunn and Smith. And again, the St. Mary's bench up in arms. They still have a game to play tomorrow, and I think they're chatting about some of the frustrations, I guess, they're starting to seep through.
Yeah, and again, I would refer to that as a basketball play. But again, I understand it's not fun to, when there's a loose ball, having someone dive for a loose ball towards your legs. That is, it can be a dangerous play while not necessarily a dirty one. And I think that's what's just happened in a couple of these plays. It's been these hard attempts at loose balls from Saskatchewan, but I don't think they were dirty, but that doesn't mean they're not necessarily dangerous. And I can again see the frustration a little bit in a 27-point game.
1 minute left in this one. St. Mary's well on the way to a victory, and a date tomorrow in the Consolation final. And this game has had flow at times, but has been rather clunky at other times. I think at this point, you just hope everyone gets off the floor healthy.
Absolutely, especially when we started to see frustrations coming up a little bit in the last couple of minutes. You don't want to see anything like that, really, at any level, and particularly at this point of the tournament. Yeah, you want to see this game celebrated. You want to see these, players playing some of their last minutes go off without a hitch, and it looks like these last couple of possessions should be over in just a moment. Though here's Gobe still playing hard.
As Black takes a tumble, but Gobe, foul number 4 to match the jersey number on her uniform. Gobe just does not quit. Mention a first-team Canada West All-Star. Averaged a team-high 17 points in the regular season, just under 6 rebounds. Also 3.5 steals per game, so a threat at both ends of the floor. Julia Black hits her first attempt.
Could be the last possession here for the Cascades, depending on exactly what happens. I would love to see Raffler get a shot up.
I would love that as well.
I'm not sure what she'd most like, a post touch. Maybe she just wants to rip a trail 3 or something, but would love to see her get one up on this possession.
Duralia.
There she is posted up. Give it to her.
3-pointer by Gobe off the mark. Out of bounds, and it will be SMU ball. So half second between shot clock and game clock. And just a simple inbound as Julia Black's going to lug it across half. I think she's just going to hold on to it, and she will. So the season she's going to launch up a 3.
there was about that half-second differential between the games. I don't think that was any
Charlie Arnold.
anything more than that. Had to put one up.
And that will do it. 69-42. SMU wins. And they have a date in the Consolation final tomorrow against either Alberta or Calgary. And the University of Fraser Valley Cascades season comes to an end. Finished 17-3 in Canada West, winning a bronze. However, cannot get a victory here at the U Sports Final 8 Women's Basketball Championship. I know they're going to be upset in the moment right now, but this will be a season they look back on a couple years. Lots of growth, and I really think the sky's the limit for Fraser Valley.
Yeah, I think you get a taste of big-time success in Canada West. You get a taste of the national, the Final 8 here in the Nationals. I think that's valuable experience. And, I think in a way they we talked about it, they ran into a bit of a buzzsaw with a matchup in the first round with a very talented team that's expected to really compete for a championship. You just hope to win a couple more games in the regular season in this upcoming year, maybe get a little bit better of a seed, and then suddenly you can see that pathway to a championship a little bit more. But whenever you can bring this many players back that now have Final 8 experience, that's going to be that's a coach's dream. So I think they have an identity, they have a way that they like to play. I think that's pretty big, especially when you've got so many returners.
As we'll take a look at the players of the game for both teams. For Fraser Valley will be number 10, Julia Tuchscherer. Julia, 12 points, 15 rebounds. Holy smokes, I wasn't tracking rebounds. I had no idea she brought down 15. It's a tough spot for her, recognized for her individual effort, but clearly not happy with the result for her team. Player of the game now for SMU, I'm going to guess will be Clara Gascoigne. And I am correct. 18 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 7 for 12 shooting. I believe she's going to join us post-game for a quick chat after the teams shake hands. And led by Julia Black. The teams meet at half, and Fraser Valley's season is done. SMU, one more game this season at 3 p.m. Mountain Time. And they will play the winner of Alberta and Calgary, which is going to get going in about 20 minutes' time. It was supposed to be 7 o'clock tip, but it is 7:01, and you want to give both teams proper time to warm up. And I think we're going to get some team photos as they get a look at the Huskies. Very close-knit group. Of course, one AUS gold, finishing 17-3. I think they're just going to have one final chat, or getting one for the gram, I think, as the kids say. As they live to fight another day. And I don't believe we're going to be joined by Clara Gascoigne. I believe, she's going to head off the floor. So, Eric, let's wrap this up. 69-42 SMU victory. I don't want to say they dominated, but they felt like they were in control for really all 4 quarters.
Yeah, they had that first initial punch, and which can be what happens when you shoot a lot of threes and play fast. You're really just hoping you have one of those big-time explosive quarters, and then you just hope to maintain the whole way. Now, you'd probably sometimes hope that happens a little bit later, but in this case, it was the first quarter, and then from there, it was all just hold on to that lead, nurse that lead, and that's what they did, and were really successful.
SMU advances to play tomorrow, the winner of Alberta and Calgary. On behalf of Eric Fawcett, I'm Mark Majot. We'll be back in about 20 minutes' time for Consolation semifinal number 2 between the host team Alberta Pandas and the University of Calgary Dinos. Thank you for watching us on CBC Sports. Come on back in 15 minutes. We'll get you set for a battle of Alberta between the Pandas and the Dinos.